You know what? I never understood the fascination with porn.
Pornography.
I just don't get it, how looking at, like, naked can do it for you.
Well, back when you were really young, like, porno was just, like, porno mags. I remember one time, me and my buddies were walking home, and this guy had put out all this porno out by his trash. And it was, like 3 stacks of, like, these porno mags. So we took them all, and we brought them to school the next day. And everybody, even all the chicks, all the girls, they were looking at them. It's like, oh, look at this chick, man. She's spread wide open and she's doing this thing with her fingers. You know, it's everybody was looking at him.
That's disgusting.
Oh no, it was cool. That was before the internet, so pornography was very, like, when you saw it, you're like, whoa. I know it's hard for people to not imagine a life without the internet where you could have pornography at your fingertips, but pornography was was something that you just saw once in a while.
I don't read. I fucking hate reading. That's why I cut hair. All I have to do is stand and cut.
I like reading. If it's a good book, I have a good imagination.
I can't even remember the last novel I read. I don't even have a bookshelf. Well, I kind of do, but it's full of, like, textbooks and makeup, school, educational books, 2 gamer manuals.
Hey, what if I read? You know what, you guys? I have a penthouse around here, or penthouse letters. You know, people, they write in those steamy letters. I should read one of them if I remember where it was. I know I have a penthouse somewhere. And I'll read out one of the steamy letters. Ah, damn it. What's going on in the background? What is that noise?
That's me preparing my Bible.
Oh, okay.
I'm about to get an amen.
Hold on, now I gotta find this penthouse. Okay, I got it. I'm gonna read one of these letters. Let me see. Well, is this acceptable on JTV if I say this out loud? Like, I swear all the time. It's not like I'm showing anything. Should I read this letter? Let me find a good. Let me find a good one.
What are these letters of?
Well, these are like sexy, steamy stories that people mail into Penthouse.
Oh. I've never looked at a Penthouse. I don't tend to look at porn or naked ladies.
Okay, I'm gonna read this, okay? Here it goes. A picnic... a picnic... Stop laughing! Hey, I'm trying to read some erotica here. Okay. A picnic turns into a party for 2 with more than just hot dogs and buns on the menu. Alicia spotted her neighbor, Tom, standing near a short picket fence. She quickly looked away before his eyes could meet hers. She had been searching for him among the partygoers at this end of their suburban street, but she didn't want him to know that. Alicia would be mortified if Tom started thinking of her as the kind of woman who blatantly went after her friends' husbands. Tom heard his wife Kate mutter something about the food. He wasn't paying attention. Tom was thinking about Alicia. Delicious Alicia. She was no longer within his direct line of sight at the block party, but he knew where she was. He had been tracking her movements like an Alicia traffic controller ever since she and her prick of a husband had emerged from their two-story house 5 minutes ago. Alicia remained fixed on his mental radar, screening... Jeez, this is hard to read. Screened like a glowing ghost image in a hot pink halter. What? Her silky wrap skirt left one leg and her entire abdomen bare. Jeez. Her wide-brimmed... What was that? Hey, I'm trying to read. This is like Shakespeare. Her wide-brimmed white hat complemented the package, making her look summery, glamorous, and sexy as hell. Alicia's husband, Brian, was droning on about his latest beat-the-market strategy to the creepy guy who lived up the block. Even though everyone else standing in the barricaded street was dressed casually, all business Brian had on a suit coat and creased slacks. Oh, this is hard to read when you're drunk. Okay, where was I? Shit. At least he wasn't wearing a tie. Alicia thought... No, at least he wasn't Okay. Why couldn't he be more like Tom, in rumpled khaki dockers and a polo shirt? Kate sometimes said she wished Tom had more ambition and business savvy. But Alicia liked the idea of being with a guy who occasionally would use a sick day to go to the beach. The 70-year-old frump from 2 houses down engaged Kate in a discussion about her flower garden, freeing Tom to I can't even pronounce this word. This is sad. My reading skills sound really bad right now. I'm a better reader, really. I didn't realize these letters were so long. This is like a fucking book. There's a couple pages of this, man. Okay. There she was, sitting on the low brick wall in front of her house, sipping from a red plastic tumbler. Her husband was boring some poor fucker who had his back to Tom. When Alicia crossed her perfect legs, her wrap skirt fell away from her hips. She was wearing what looked like a pink bikini bottom underneath, or maybe it was a tiny pair of shorts. Tom could see the narrow bulge of her pussy between her slender thighs, barely covered by the pink crotch of her shorts. Jesus Christ, how Tom wanted that pussy. He wished he could walk over, put his hand between Alicia's legs, and rub her snugly covered cunt. He wanted to feel its heat. He wanted to feel Alicia getting wet for him, soaking right through the material until she begged for his stiff dick. Then he would stuff his hard-on into her red lipstick mouth. Alicia could tell without looking that Tom was staring at her. She imagined him admiring her boobs, her nearly flat stomach, and her long legs. Christ, why doesn't he come over and say something? Does he really think that any woman who works out for an hour a day doesn't want to attract attention? He can't possibly be happy staying faithful to his mousy wife. Sure, Kate was a nice girl, but come on, Alicia tried sending a mental message. Come over here and talk to me, talk to me. I'm going to turn my head and look right at you, and when I do, you're going to get your ass over here quick. 1, 2... Tom felt his face go red, but hoped he was far enough away that Alicia wouldn't notice. Seeing her look right at him while he was fantasizing about fucking her pretty mouth was disorientated. Okay. I'm gonna read this whole thing. Okay. Okay, seeing her look right at him while he was fantasizing about fucking her pretty mouth was disorientating, to say the least. She patted a place on the low wall beside where she sat. She wanted him to join her. He's coming over, Alicia thought, trying to stay cool. She had been married to Brian for 3 years without straying. She was out of practice when it came to give and take that led to sex with a new guy. But she was ready. More than ready. and Tom was the one she wanted. He was nice, he was funny, he had a good body, and he seemed like the type who could keep a secret. Alicia didn't want to hurt Kate. They had been best buds since shortly after Alicia and Brian moved to the neighborhood. But it wasn't as if Alicia wanted to steal Tom. She only wanted to borrow him, for now, anyway. Tom tried not to fixate on Alicia's tits. She had beautiful breasts, nice and full. Her halter top was of a modest design, so there was no chance of glimpsing the curved edge of a nipple, halo, or a bare side swell of tit. But the way the halter held her boobs together did wonderful things for her cleavage. He had to remind himself to avert his eyes so that Alicia wouldn't think he was a jerk. This is really long. He's looking at my tits, Alicia thought with pride. He's practically hypnotized. She casually rolled back her shoulders to make her boobs stand out more. You would just love to suck on these, wouldn't you, she thought. She could practically feel Tom's mouth on her nipples, pushing them around with his tongue. Tom was within 2 steps of Alicia when her fuckhead husband turned toward him with a big shit-eating grin. Hey Tom, how's it going? Did you ever get into that mutual fund I recommended? That thing took off like a rocket. When Tom shook his head and started to explain himself, Brian forged ahead. Damn, that's too bad, but there's another one I just found on the internet. You ever hear about it? Alicia felt like screaming. To make matters worse, the guy Brian who had been lecturing before Tom walked over, took this opportunity to sit down beside her and say, Hey, Alicia. Oh, hey Alicia, what's up? You sure are looking fine today. She resisted the urge to roll her eyes. This guy looked good, in a rugged kind of way, but there was something indefinably slimy about him. He was probably a real prick in bed. Tom forced himself in a smile during Brian's monologue, wishing all the while that the self-absorbed asshole would vanish from the face of the earth. Now there was an attractive prospect. Tom pictured Alicia as a sexy young widow, living all by herself in that big empty house. She would call Tom over to take care of some manly tasks, fixing her garbage disposal, maybe, and compensate him with a wild, sweaty fuck when he finished. Tom imagined himself between her muscular legs, clutching both cheeks of her ass and ramming his dick deep into her creamy cunt. Alicia did her best to ignore the guy beside her as he was relating his former exploits as a college quarterback. She idly wondered if Tom had even managed to convince Katie to let him fuck her in the ass. A few months back, Kate had confided that this was something Tom wanted, but which Katie had no intention of permitting. The whole idea is too disgusting, Kate had told Alicia, making a sour face. Then in a searching tone she added, You've never done it that way, have you? Tom noticed that Kyle, the jock who lived diagonally across the street, was talking to Alicia in a way that looked more than friendly. Had he fucked her? He was a good-looking son of a bitch, no doubt about that. Tom couldn't blame Alicia if she was attracted to him. Tom flashed on a fantasy of the 3 of them in bed. Alicia was up on all 4s, naked, her big tits swinging under her body. Kyle was fucking her from behind while she sucked Tom's hard dick. Tom shuffled their position. Now Kyle was on his back. Alicia was on top of Kyle, with his huge cock buried in her cunt. At the same time, Tom was squatting behind Alicia, fucking her impossibly tight asshole. Okay. Double-plugged Alicia was grunting and moaning between them with slutty pleasure. Alicia had lied and told Kate, No, I don't think that's something I would like either. The truth was that she kind of enjoyed anal sex, when she was in the right mood and really turned on. She filed away the information that this was something she could offer Tom he couldn't get at home. More than once since that conversation, she had imagined how Tom's hard cock would feel up her ass. Thorough tonguing back there first. She loved having her sensitive asshole licked and kissed. Brian given her that kind of attention before they were married. These days she was lucky if he would even eat her pussy. The selfish bastard never wanted around back anymore. Tom heard a shout across the street. 3-foot flames were leaping from a propane grill. The elderly owner, who had rolled the grill into the street for the party, batted at the fire with a spatula. He was clearly on the verge of panic. His old biddy wife fluttered her hands and screeched, "It's going to explode!" Tom jogged over, reached under the grill, and calmly turned off the propane tank's nozzle. Problem solved. A few people applauded. Tom grinned and gave a small bow. I have to get him to fuck me, Alicia thought. Look at the other man, slapping Tom on the back and grinning. That's the kind of man I want in bed. She saw Tom look in her direction. Fuck me, Alicia silently commanded. I'm right here. The creep who was trying to get my panties left to hit on somebody else, so I'm all yours now. She licked her lips and tilted her head, smiling. I'm still going. I'm gonna finish this whole story. I didn't think it was this long. Holy shit.
It's quite a letter to Penthouse.
This is a letter, man. This is like chapter 1 of a novel.
Awful.
Yeah. Okay. She licked her lips and tilted her head, smiling. 3 words lit up in Tom's head. She wants me. The expression on Alicia's face, the way she was sitting, the way she leaned forward just enough to show off her chest without being obvious about it. She wants me as much as I want her. He looked for Kate. His wife was nowhere in sight. Maybe she got corralled into taking a tour of the old crone's flower garden down the street. Maybe she developed one of her tension headaches and went home to lie down. Maybe she was fucking one of the neighbors in a parked car. Tom didn't care. All that mattered was that she wasn't around. Alicia thought for a second that Brian was going to intercept Tom again for another endless chat. Her skin tingled, though when she heard Tom tell her husband, "That guy in front of the white Volvo over there said to me earlier that he's looking for a place to put some money. Do you think you could help him out?" Brian hurried off to share his wisdom. Alone at last, Tom thought. He looked down at Alicia. She looked up at him. They both knew. Tom was about to tell her how sexy she looked when she spoke up and said, "Let's hurry." He watched her swing her sexy legs over to the other side of the low brick wall and walk quickly across her lawn to her house's side gate. The cheeks of her ass were high and looked firm. Tom took another quick look around. No Kate? Perfect. Alicia latched the tall wooden gate when Tom came through, so no one would see them across the patio together. So no one would see them cross the patio together and go into the house. This is it, she thought. I'm going to get fucked, and by somebody who will appreciate me. She pulled open the sliding glass door. Tom followed her up the carpeted stairs and past what was obviously the master bedroom. 2 doors down, Alicia opened a door, led him into a guest room. The bed there was a smaller queen instead of a king. It would do just fine. Tom watched her close and lock the bedroom door. He reached for her. Alicia felt Tom's strong hands on her shoulders, turning her body around to face him. He put his mouth on hers. It had been so long since she had been kissed this way. This is really long!
Cube, just get to the end. Basically, they all fuck, and she gets fucked in the ass.
No, this is an epic saga. This is an epic saga. Here we go. I'm gonna finish this. Tom's tongue probed inside her mouth. She caressed it with her own. She squeezed Tom's back with both hands. He was more muscular than Brian. She liked that. She was so excited and eager that she reached for Tom's belt. Tom watched her unbuckle his belt, undo the top of his pants, and unzip his fly. Alicia sat on the edge of the bed and tugged his pants down. She ran her hands over his white boxer shorts and smiled if she had made a happy discovery. Maybe Brian wore briefs, Tom thought, and maybe Alicia doesn't like briefs. He watched her reach inside the fly of his boxer, take hold of his stiffening cock, and pull it out. She stared at it for a few seconds, stroking her small hand up and down its length. Then she put her mouth over its swollen head. His cock is in my mouth, Alicia thought. I'm sucking his cock, and I'm loving it. I love cheating on Brian. I love being bad. I love the idea that this hard, big cock is going to be inside me soon, filling me up. She took her mouth off of it and licked up and down its sides, grinning at Tom. His dick looked... jeez. His dick looked so hot sticking out of his boxers this way. She held onto it and used her other hand to push the bottomless fly under his ball sack so that it was exposed too. She turned her head and licked his balls. They smelled like semen. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Pretentious, that's enough.
I'm going still. Tom's cock throbbed when Alicia put her lips back over his head. She bobbed up and down. Her tongue wiggled underneath his dick. Fuck, does she ever know how to suck cock, Tom thought. He took off her wide-brimmed hat and sailed it onto a chair in the corner. He put his fingers in her golden blonde hair. Alicia liked the way Tom was holding her head and gently thrusting his hips, fucking her mouth. She could feel herself getting wet. She reached behind her neck to untie the knot that held together the vertical halves of her halter. It was up to Tom to do the rest. She wanted him to bare her breast. She kept sucking him, using her tongue around the ridge of his cock head. Tom pulled the untied halves of Alicia's halter down away from her beautiful tits. He cupped one breast in each hand, feeling their stiff tips against his palms. They were as firm and as heavy as he imagined. Alicia kept sucking Tom while she reached between her shoulder blades to unsnap the back strap of her halter so she could take it off. She took her mouth from Tom's dick but kept a grip on it down at its base. She pushed out her chest and rubbed Tom's swollen dickhead all over one of her spread out nipples, making it glisten with her own saliva. The sight of Alicia was doing almost... The sight of what Alicia was doing almost made Tom come. He watched her rub the slit of his cock up and down against the stiff tip of one nipple.
You know, I don't know, but I think there might be like certain rules about too pornographic.
Can I not say this? Is this too much?
I think that, yeah, it was... I mean, yeah.
The sight of what Alicia was doing almost made Tom come. He watched... Okay, yeah. "Let me eat your pussy," he said, reaching for her hips. Alicia kicked off her sandals and leaned back in bed to let Tom undo her wrapped skirt. Then he found the side zipper on the smooth pink shorts she wore underneath, undid it, and pulled them down. Alicia lifted her butt to help him. She wasn't wearing underwear because the shorts themselves were as skimpy as panties. She liked how Tom stared at her neatly groomed pussy with undisguised lust. Alicia wondered if it had been as long between lovers for him as for her. Tom tossed Alicia's shorts onto the same chair where her hat had landed. Alicia let her legs fall open, showing him her bare crotch. The fact that she was wearing panties made the moment perfect for him, like an erotic dream come true. Several emotions flooded Tom's brain as he stared at the soft pink lips of Alicia's cunt and the narrow triangle of a wispy blonde curls above it. Desire, yearning, excitement, resentment at himself for ever getting married, and pride at finally going after something he wanted. And let's end it right there, everybody. We'll call that chapter 1. This is like really long. There's like another 2 pages of this. Seriously. So I think that was enough. Let's get back to what I was doing and playing a video game. But hey, that's how my channel rolls sometimes. Sometimes you hear some erotic literature.
That was beautiful, Q.
It was pretty good. I think I read pretty good for all the beer I drank. I think I read pretty nice.